Right. So today, pop this out. All right. So today I have Masroor Fatany, who is the CEO for the local Halal Guys in the Houston area, and he's a food entrepreneur. He's a franchisee for the national Halal Guys, but for the region, he has truly made a splash and has been growing. And talking directly with Masroor. So hi, Masroor.
Hey, Ravi.
I'm gonna give the Skype call the opportunity to flip between you and me. But thanks for joining me. And man, I've known you for a long time, and I could not think of a great entrepreneur who's has gone through the Goldman Sachs program, has gone through the UT program, has gone through so many different business and what I call incubating and accelerator programs to find yourself in this scenario. How many hours of work are you doing right now? Because we're in this COVID-19 situation. What's going on? What's your day like right now? Are you at home, or is business closed, or what's happening?
Sure. Thanks, Ravi. Well, we're designated as an essential service since we're in the restaurant industry. We're also positioned in the QSR quick service segment of that industry. So, um, where you have the McDonald's and Burger Kings, the drive-throughs of the world, the Chick-fil-A's, we're probably not as best position as they are since they have native drive-throughs. We're cut below since we're already known for takeout and quick service. So we're thankful. We have a lot of gratitude that we're in that space, that we're allowed to be open, and the consumer mindset still associates us with speed, delivery, takeout, and that's been helpful. So how does my day work? I mean, it's I would say my mind is more consumed, probably about 12 hours a day, easy. So, on just trying to keep updates on what's going on regionally, locally, that kind of stuff, and then what's going on with sales, lunchtime, dinner time, in between. And then the most important thing is employee safety, making sure that we have people safe, that kind of thing. So,
So
yeah.
you're doing all this from home or your office, and the restaurant hours, are they cut? Are they still running normal hours?
We have adjusted our hours. We're operating from around 10:30 in the morning to about 10 or 11 at night, depending on the store.
Oh, wow.
We used to be open until 4 a.m. at one of our stores, so that's definitely not happening. Um, I generally start my mornings at home, but around lunchtime, I go to the stores, kind of stand in line with the staff, and then work from there. Kind of watching, make sure everyone's following safety protocols. That's really priority number one, and yeah.
So no one actually is coming in the restaurant to dine there. It's strictly takeout and deliveries.
We've gone a step further to where, unless you can't walk through the line, if, people that know the halal guys, we're kind of like a Chipotle or a Subway where you walk through and pick what you want and walk out. You can't do that anymore. You can place an order online, or we invented a drive-through system. We have someone outside that takes an order, takes payment, you drive up, and we bring you out the order within, all within 5 minutes. So that's allowed us to kind of think differently on that.
Well, that's fantastic. So the staff that's outside for that drive-through, I'm sure I mean, you're concerned for them, their family's concerned for them. So, just an example of what kind of safety protocols are you following for the individual who's taking the order by the car? I mean, are you following the CDC recommendations?
So
What's
we're
going on there?
practicing. So yesterday, CDC announced that they wanted masks. That was a recommendation. I forget if it was CDC or White House, one of the two.
Sure.
So it was hard to find face shields or masks locally. I drove to Austin. My wife and I went and grabbed. We have about 75 employees, so we grabbed 75 face shields for our staff, and we brought them back. And today, as of this morning, everyone, all our stores by lunchtime. Everyone have a face shield. They've already practicing social distancing. We had hand sanitizer, which is also very hard to find, but we're always looking for these things to make sure, because without our staff, you know, we lose public trust, and more importantly, you don't want any of these guys getting sick. They're like family.
So, so I think our internet was going on and off because the whole world is now having online conversations. So, but I heard you say the the recommendation at the White House or the CDC came out for everyone having a mask that's outside taking these orders, and you have 75 employees, and you drove to Austin on the fly. That's a 6 hour going and coming back in Houston to get these masks, shields. Sorry, to get these shields. Wow, man, that's
And it was
fantastic.
hard to find them locally. I'll be honest. There were
You
some
couldn't order
supply
on
stores.
Amazon? I'm just curious. I mean, what's the
Amazon had some 6 week, 4 to 6 week lead times. There were some
six? Wow.
local suppliers that safety supply stores that are price gouging, unfortunately. To give you an example, we tried buying the surgical masks, the blue ones, and there was a company in Houston selling those for almost $2 a piece. And whereas normally,
That's $100 a box.
yeah, they were selling it for $90 a box, where normally that same box of 50 costs around $4 or $5.
Well, Masroor, I'm hoping you're reporting that to somebody at the state because I know the state governor has really made that announcement that you should not do this. I mean, we're talking about essential workers, right? The food workers. People don't realize. I mean, yes, we're taking care of the healthcare workers, but the food worker, my God, you guys are feeding the healthcare workers. So if one of your employees isn't protected and is infected, I mean, that could cause another pandemic just in the local healthcare team. So
Well, just this morning, I got a text from or a Facebook message from MD Anderson, a department that's saying, "Hey, we just want to see if there's anything you can do to help us out today for lunch." And we always respond to those, so we're doing our part in the community. A lot of generous companies have been ordering from us too. It's not like we're just donating. We are getting a lot of orders. From the public. So we want to make sure we maintain that safety standard.
I've noticed a lot of ideas where people can possibly buy gift cards or something and help you guys out because here you still need money to run operations, to buy your supplies and buy the rice and what have you, right? I mean, you're still running a business, still making payments on your bills, right? I mean, do you have something like that where the average person, I mean, yes, they can order directly and for the family, but how can they support your mission to support the healthcare, staff? What can they do
Honestly,
now?
it's just as long as they can trust us that we're doing everything safely,
Uh-huh.
and luckily we sell hot food, so
Right.
it's
That's
been
good.
said that anything that's grilled, the virus can't survive those temperatures. And then, given all the PPE that we provide to our staff, including the face shield,
Mhm.
including the gloves and double bagging and all the sanitary sanitation things that we're doing, we
Mhm.
really hope to earn that trust of people and keep placing orders. As far as gift cards go, I'll be honest, and we're a franchise, so a lot of that gift card money doesn't even roll up to us as a local franchisee. So,
Um,
but that is a good idea. Maybe for an independent owner, that may be a
mhm.
good idea. But what I've
You can
seen,
set up a GoFundMe or something just to keep the local funds available locally.
I think, man, I think, like I said, we're in a better spot, and we're thankful for that. That we still have orders. I
Okay.
think restaurants that were dine-in only, like your higher end or your
Right.
experiential restaurants, where you go to experience the service and the atmosphere, those guys are really hurting right now. And I encourage everyone to dedicate their resources towards that because they need it.
I mean, is this your greatest fear, losing trust from the public? I mean, as a business owner, is that your greatest fear here, or is something else?
I think the greatest fear is for someone that I know. I think the greatest fear is that these are people that I work with daily, and for any of them to get sick would be the biggest. That's number
Wow.
one. And then secondly, yeah, obviously I think it goes hand in hand because, I don't want someone to get sick and then public to lose trust.
Oh man, I mean, I really respect your ideals here because you're doing whatever you can to protect your staff and your customers, and you're as an essential business in operation here. And you're coming up with new ideas like the drive-through. I mean, that you guys are really making a difference. I just want to ask you, what would be your ask, from anyone listening, anyone watching? You're part of the Goldman Sachs alumni group, so you probably prepared for this or maybe not. I don't know. Tell me, did you prepare for a global pandemic in 2020 at the beginning of the year?
No, I
What
think
do you think?
that is obvious. However, we did prepare for a downturn.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I mean, we've had a 12-year bull run in the stock market. Times have been great for the last decade or so. Things have just been going up. So everyone knew in the back of their mind that something was going to take us, there would be a correction. Not this. Uh, but I think we did prepare. We did have access to capital lined up for moments like this. We've maintained our banking relationships over the years to get us through the storm, and we've been good. We've always maintained good public relations with the community, and we continue to do so. So it's just there's not one thing.
Advice to the small business owner in this space, or any essential business in this space.
Number one is keep your family and your employees safe. Without that, nothing else will. Right? That's understood. Secondly, everyone knows there's government programs out there, but unfortunately, those have not been rolled out correctly. They're supposed to open up today, but banks have said they're not ready. They're not ready until next week. So, there is assistance coming. Right now, the goal should be to get through, survive until you get that government assistance. And that's priority number one. Because it will come. It is a good plan, but you got to wait for it.
So just in that meantime, you have to do whatever you can to survive,
Yeah.
and that's where some of the planning would help. But if you did not plan, then you have to think this. You have to make some hard choices.
Survival mode. Yeah. And
Survival
and it's
mode.
hard. It's hard because you're competing with the Costco's and the WalMarts and the HEBs of the world who are also trying to do the same thing, and who've got bigger budgets to provide for safety and sanitize. I haven't been to an HEB that's out of sanitizer. They've got it covered. Now, whereas we've gotten enough for our staff, but for we're always looking, right? Because now this is the way of life, at least for the rest of this year.
Wow. Wait. So then, what are you hopeful about? Because you just said now you're planning for the rest of the year. That's a little scary, right? For the average person to hear that, but that's actually good because you're planning. I want to end on a positive note here because the community's coming. We're sourcing stuff locally. We're trying to make this stuff happen. So what are you hopeful about, and where do you see us? By when do you see us going back to some sort of a normalcy?
I mean, I'm no expert, Ravi, but just from everything that I'm hearing, Houston's supposed to peak somewhere around May, and then you have, that's the peak, and you come off the peak. So I honestly think that, I mean, I would be lucky if by fall people wouldn't be as scared to go out. But I don't know when people are going to be comfortable going to a gym, going to the movies, going to some kids play Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think. I think this is going to change like the way we think. Like our generation will think, at least for the short term, until there's some kind of vaccine or something made for this.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts, Mr. I mean, you are a busy guy today. I know you've got lots of hats that you wear in the community, and I truly value the work that you do, and I'm always fascinated by the growth that you've had. And now this is a challenge that you're going through, but I love that no one knows, but you're still not stopping. You know, you're still moving forward. You're not pulling your hands up and quitting. That is not that is not the
Well,
entrepreneur that I know Masroor to be.
I will say,
Mhm.
I was in that spot when all this
Sure.
started. I was paralyzed, but I had mentors, I had people that I was close with that encouraged me to take on new ideas like the drive through, to really start looking because there comes a point where you do get paralyzed. And for anyone that is paralyzed, the message is, stop, take a breath, think, innovate. There is something you can do. And it may not work, but at least you tried.
Fantastic. Masroor, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to having our lunch meetings again at the Halal Guys when all this is safe and over. But as a fan of your business and as a friend, truly thank you for doing what you're doing.
For sure, man. Thanks, Robbie.
Okay, have a great day.